What if I told you the most sophisticated healing technology ever built was stolen from you 1,000 years ago, and you've been walking past your entire life? Cathedrals. You think they're churches. You think they're tourist spots. They're not. They are precision-engineered machines built to manipulate your brain, your cortisol, your heartbeat, using sound, light, and geometry, working together simultaneously. And the moment they stopped being used for healing was the moment someone decided you shouldn't have access to it anymore. Stay, because this is the video they don't want going viral. Before we get into the science, I need you to understand one thing. Every single feature of a Gothic cathedral, the height, the arch shape, the stone material, the windows, even where it was built, was not random, not decorative, not just beautiful. It was functional. And what it was functioning as was a biological reset machine for the human body. Let's start with what you can feel the second you walk in. Gothic cathedrals were designed with pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and high ceilings, not just for beauty, but because this geometry allows sound to amplify, purify, and resonate throughout the entire space. Modern acoustic science has a word for this. It's called reverb decay, and in a Gothic cathedral, a single note can echo for up to 10 full seconds. That's not an accident, that's engineering. Studies have shown that this kind of sound resonance can lead to brainwave entrainment, where your brain's electrical activity begins to synchronize with the frequency of the sound waves around you, dropping you into states of deep relaxation and mental clarity. Your brain literally rewires itself to match the room. But here's where it gets darker and more specific. The builders appear to have engineered these structures to resonate with specific solfeggio frequencies, frequencies that researchers believe promote physical and emotional healing. The organ, that massive, terrifying instrument, wasn't just music. With its ability to produce an enormous range of frequencies, the organ may have been used to create healing vibrations that resonated with the body's own natural frequencies, amplified and shaped by the cathedral's architecture. And here's the science to back that up. A comprehensive review covering 34 studies found that sound interventions measurably reduce cortisol levels, improve heart rate variability, and lower blood pressure. Cortisol, the stress hormone that destroys your immune system, your sleep, your clarity. These buildings were lowering it every single service. Now let's talk about the windows, because most people think stained glass is just art. It's not. It's a chromotherapy delivery system. The stained glass in medieval cathedrals was frequently made using antimony, a metalloid that produces vivid, saturated color. The light that filtered through was believed to carry specific energetic properties: red stimulating vitality, blue promoting calm, green balancing emotional states. This isn't medieval superstition. Color therapy, chromotherapy, is a real documented field of study. And these windows weren't randomly colored. The specific colors used in specific areas of the cathedral matched the intended emotional and physiological effect of that zone of the building. The nave, where the general congregation sat, was bathed primarily in blue and violet light, calming, slowing the nervous system. The altar, where ritual took place, was flooded with gold and red, activating, heightening focus and reverence. These people were not guessing. They knew what light does to the human body. But here's what almost nobody talks about. It's not just what's inside the building, it's where the building was placed. Many cathedrals were built on sites that had been considered sacred long before Christianity, often directly on the remains of pagan temples, healing springs, and pre-Christian worship centers. Cathedrals were frequently built at ancient sites where pagan gods had been worshipped, and the saints who replaced those gods inherited their reputation for healing. These locations had been centers of healing for centuries before the first stone of the cathedral was ever laid. Chartres Cathedral in France, one of the most famous in the world, was built on a pre-Christian Celtic site sacred to a Mother Earth goddess. Before the cathedral existed, this place was an important religious and healing center for the Carnutes tribe. Its famous labyrinth, still in the floor, dates back to 1205 and is a direct remnant of that ancient tradition. So the Church didn't invent these healing locations. They inherited them, and then they rebranded them. The healing didn't stop. The credit changed hands.
Now we go deeper, because the most unsettling part of this isn't the sound or the light, it's the math. Gothic architecture relies on precise geometric patterns, the golden ratio, Fibonacci sequences, and specific shapes like the Vesica Pisces. These proportions don't just look beautiful, they resonate with natural harmonics, the same mathematical ratios found in your DNA, in your heartbeat, in the spiral of your inner ear. Since every object has its own resonant frequency, when you're inside a cathedral, your body is physically interacting with those frequencies. The human body is approximately 80% water, and cymatics, the science of visible sound, shows that specific frequencies physically reshape water into geometric patterns. Whatever shape that space creates in the sound field is the shape your internal structure is responding to. This isn't metaphor, this is physics. You walk into a space built on the golden ratio, flooded with organ tones, drenched in chromatic light, and every cell in your body is processing that environment, whether you believe in it or not.
So, here's the question nobody asks in history class. If these buildings were this sophisticated, if they genuinely produced measurable physiological healing, why did we stop using them that way? The answer is complicated and uncomfortable. During the Middle Ages, the Church controlled these spaces completely. Medicine and religion were inseparable, and the Church always placed divine authority above human healing. The healing that happened at these sites was reframed as a miracle, something God granted to the worthy, not as technology available to everyone. The acoustic knowledge became liturgy. The chromotherapy became decoration. The geometry became doctrine that only architects and clergy could understand. What was once a commons, a healing space accessible to the community, became a performance space controlled by an institution. And then, when these buildings fell out of active use as weekly gathering centers in modern secular society, The healing technology didn't evolve. It was abandoned. We turned off the machine, and nobody told us what we lost. Here's what keeps me up at night about this. We now live in an age where anxiety disorders are at a historic high. Cortisol dysmodulation is an epidemic. Sleep disorders, emotional dysregulation, chronic inflammation, all connected to a nervous system that never gets to rest. And we have buildings, hundreds of them, still standing in almost every major city in the Western world that were built with the specific geometric and acoustic purpose of resetting the human nervous system. Most of them sit nearly empty 6 days a week. Whether you're seeking mental clarity, stress relief, or a deeper connection to your own biology, modern researchers suggest that simply spending time inside a space designed with these harmonic principles produces real, measurable effects on your brain and body. You don't have to believe in God for physics to work on you. The resonance doesn't care about your faith. The geometry doesn't check your beliefs at the door. The light refracts whether you pray or not.
Okay, I need to pause here and ask you something directly, because I know some of you are watching this and thinking, this sounds too big, too hidden. Why doesn't anyone talk about this? And that's actually the right instinct. But here's the thing. People do talk about this. Acoustic archaeologists study it. Neuroscientists study the effect of reverb on the brain. Historians document the pagan healing sites underneath the foundations. The information isn't hidden, it's just connected, scattered across disciplines that don't talk to each other. What this video did was put it in the same room. So, here's what I want to know from you. Drop in the comments which part of this hit hardest. Was it the sound science, the ley lines, the fact that your body responds to geometry whether you believe in it or not? Because based on your answers, I'm deciding which video I make next, and I have 3 options ready that go even deeper than this one. The architecture of ancient Egypt and its overlap with this system, the specific frequencies the medieval builders used and whether you can replicate the effect at home, or the history of why this knowledge was deliberately scattered across disciplines so it couldn't be reassembled. Tell me, which one? I read every single comment in the first 24 hours.
The most advanced healing technology humans ever built has been sitting in the middle of your city this entire time. Made of stone, older than modern medicine, built by people who understood that sound, light, and geometry are not decorations, they are medicine. And maybe, just maybe, the most radical act of self-care you could do this week is to walk into one of these buildings, sit down, and let it do what it was built to do. No faith required, just presence. I'll see you in the next one.